What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here and for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. Let's get into this conversation / reality chat. I know I have not discussed the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills at all on my platform. I am someone that has watched the show. The past few seasons, I honestly have not had it on my radar. I just really haven't been that interested. Plus, a lot of things that go on with some of the people's personal lives, it just kind of shows up on social media somewhere if it's really relevant. But I did watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills from the beginning, and I remember Camille Grammer at the time. I don't believe her last name is Grammer anymore, but she used to be married to Kelsey Grammer, the actor. And she was shady. She definitely was living in a glass house and throwing stones because she wound up being one of the first ones from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to get divorced. Not by choice, because he left her. He was hardly around when she was filming. And turns out, he was in a relationship with somebody else at the time. So, this isn't about her, but I just wanted to point that out because the news recently came out that kylerichards and her husband, Mauricio, they've been married for 27 years. They have announced that they are splitting. They're separating after 27 years of marriage. That's a very, very long time. I'm quite sure they were together longer than that. That's just how many years they have been married. And, a lot of people have a lot to say about it. I'm not going to say that I am surprised or that I'm not surprised. I honestly didn't really care. But I will say this. I remember that first season, and Camille Grammer had a dinner party at her house, and she had a psychic over. Now, this wasn't some psychic party where people were coming up to her and she was going to share something with them or something like that, because I know that in later seasons of some of these shows, they have had situations like that where they would have a medium or somebody who reads coffee cups or all that strange mess going on. It wasn't that. But at this dinner party, Camille's friend, who was a psychic, she was smoking. She was having those heavy cocktails. She definitely was a little bit lit, if you want to call it that. That wasn't even a phrase that they used back then. But she made a comment about Kyle and her marriage, and that was 13 years ago. Some predictions, they don't happen immediately, but it doesn't mean that it is not going to happen. And sometimes the inevitable may just be something that's being held up by choice. And because you're trying to save face, or you're trying to sort some things out because you are in the public eye. And she and her husband definitely are, since they have been a part of the show. She's not a stranger to being famous, but she's not, she wasn't someone that would be considered like an A-list actress or anything like that, just because she had been in some stuff when she was a child. She and her sister were child actors. And she's also the sister to Kathy Hilton, who is the mother of famously Paris and Nikki Hilton, and of the famous Hilton hotel brand. But anyway, I digress. This psychic is feeling some vindication today after this news broke out about them separating after all of these years of marriage. So I want to play this clip and continue with my commentary.
I have to say that I loved your spread. Literally. I didn't spread. No, you didn't. Camille? Who did Didn't you do Playboy? Yes, you do. When did you do Playboy? Years ago. That's when I met Kelsey. I didn't do the main. It's just a supplement. I did the Playboy book of lingerie. It's clothes. You're wearing elegant lingerie. You're not naked. Lingerie? I thought the whole point of Playboy was no lingerie. I mean, okay, we got into this conversation conversation how I posed for Playboy too, but I was in my early 20s and wasn't coming off of a big murder trial that my girlfriend was killed. That's just a whole different... I can't... Those kind of people I don't understand and I don't want to associate with.
Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. And she threw a big boulder.
They want Kyle and I to do it as sisters. The medium next to me to my left was really enjoying herself because I saw her down, I think, 2 or 3 cocktails. And these were very strong cocktails. I actually took 2 sips and I was like, wow.
And then Allison DuBois pulls out this electronic cigarette. I think it's like a prop from some movie or something. And she was like, and I'm thinking, that's Jack Nicholson from The Shining. That's all I could see was Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Allison, I need to ask you, do you kind of feel like people that passed around?
I definitely make sure with people who died, like if I'm at a dinner party with y'all, they got to take a second chair because you are the ones that I'm focused on. But I head tap people too, so I pull thoughts. But I'll be able to tap into somebody and be like, she has father issues. The mother kept her mouth closed, didn't stand up to the father. That's why she has mother issues and the daddy issues. Daddy was never there. And so I start pulling that information. Yeah.
Are you head tapping me now?
Oh, no.
Oh, go on. I had brought Allison basically as a guest, and I didn't want her to feel like she had to perform for anybody that night.
Don't think I'm doing this to you ladies, because we're having a girls' night. I respect. I have
And
my
we respect
limits
you
with
because
everybody.
you want to have your girls' night too. Exactly.
But can't you do something?
I think I've been having a great conversation
No,
with
but
y'all.
I mean, can't you? Is my grandmother here?
I mean, to me, it's like a doctor at a dinner party. You're always like, oh, can you tell me what's wrong with me here? So naturally, I'm going to ask her about her chosen profession.
I was studied by scientists for several years and on Oprah in front of 70 million people. But I'm kind of like a drug. Once you get one, you want it again. And so I'm just putting it out there. I'm just being honest. And you know what? I hate to say it, but we're having a girls' night, so I'm off the clock.
We're just curious.
This is why vodka is a
We didn't eat dinner, so I'm going to have to watch you on these.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to watch.
No.
She's off the clock. Maybe I should whip out my credit card. Should I do that and say, how about now? Can I do my now? Funny. So, Allison, can we just have one person? Everybody is so excited about the fact that you are so gifted.
Don't tempt me. Really.
Ooh, Allison. Touche, baby. What does that mean, don't tempt me? I thought, no, don't, Kyle. Save yourself. I'm telling you, I feel this is not a good situation.
Don't get me started.
Be honest. Do you really want to go there? Because she might pull stuff that some people might not want to hear. It's best for her to perform a reading one-on-one because a lot of personal stuff comes up. So if somebody's husband's cheating on them or something, she'll know it. And you just don't.
Couldn't you just tell us without telling us anything scary?
Something that's not scary?
Yeah.
Oh my God, but what I want to tell you might be irritating to you, so I so hesitate.
Just say it.
Okay. Have you been married twice?
No.
Oh, well then that's the last one you have. I guess that's good news. I was thinking she was going to have to get married again, which meaning you'd have a divorce.
If my husband ever leaves me, I'm going with him.
He will never emotionally fulfill you. Ever. Know that. As soon as the kids are bigger, you'll have nothing in common.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. I was waiting for Kyle to fly across the table.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know about that. I don't know. People don't know. I know. No, I know that.
And
All right, guys, so you heard that. So basically, I played all of that to get to the end, which at the end was where the real news was, or the validation or vindication, I should say, because she said, like in detail, she said, your husband will never emotionally fulfill you. And once the kids get older, you'll have nothing in common. And that's pretty much where they are at this point. And honestly, that's not uncommon for a lot of people. But I'm just here to say that she definitely is feeling her vindication today, because the medium or psychic, whatever label she goes by, Allison DuBois is her name, she confirmed on her Instagram after it was announced, and she came out and said, I told you so. And then she said, I don't wish Kyle ill. I hope she finds what she's looking for. I guess I'm the only one who saw this coming. And see, the time she was friends with Camille, last name Grammer at the time. And at that time, Camille was not going through a divorce. Her husband was cheating on her. But Kyle was making little jabs and little jokes not really under her breath, but to her friend across the table, Faye Resnick. And when Camille was making a comment about, this chick, she posed naked in Playboy after her best friend got killed. She was the best friend to Nicole Brown Simpson. And we all know what happened to her. OJ got off, and I guess maybe not long after that, she did a spread in Playboy magazine. Anyway, she said, people kept telling me I was picking up on Camille's divorce, not Kyle. And she was telling all the quote unquote armchair psychics out there to sit down. So she concluded the post by saying, mic drop. I'm going to put a link to this in the description box. This is actually from page 6. And they had the clip. And I mean, when I heard about it, I said, you know what? I remember this episode. And then I'm looking through page 6. And then I see they have a clip of that episode that I remembered when I heard the news about them separating. I remember that like yesterday because I was watching it from the very beginning. I was. And I was interested. It was just one of those things where almost all of these Real Housewives franchises, when they start out, you watch because you're interested. And going off on a little bit of off-topic tangent, but that's one of the reasons why I say when it comes to these Real Housewives franchises, I don't really care if they do revamps or they bring in new people and get rid of the older cast, because at this point in time, Real Housewives of Atlanta has been around for 15 years. When people first started watching, you watched out of interest because you didn't know who the people were. Now it's gotten to the point where you just know these people, where you feel like you know them so well. Well, it's like, okay, what's their storyline going to be? We never thought about storylines when it came to these people being on these shows in the beginning, because you were just watching out of pure interest just to find out more about them. So that's why I feel like they should recycle these people. And I'm not saying it should be like Survivor where you have new people every single season, but yeah, kind of. But yeah, I watch out of pure interest. And so if people were seeing cracks in their marriage over the years, then you were watching more regularly than I was, because I didn't know them like that back then. I didn't continue to watch so much because I just kind of got bored with it, like watching wealthy people fuss about how someone takes care of a dog or just stupid stuff like that. Like, I don't really care. But in the beginning, it was definitely interesting. And that scene right there will go down in history. So for her to come out and make a comment about it and then end it with the words mic drop, it definitely is a mic drop. Because when Kyle's friend Faye Resnick was saying, well, I don't agree with that. Well, you cannot agree with it, but it doesn't mean that she's not seeing what she's seeing in the future. And again, some things that people see at that point in time for the future, they can't say how long it will be before it happens, and you don't have to agree with it. And you can have your views and opinions and all of that other stuff, but I'm not saying she caused it. And she's not even saying she caused it, but she's saying she saw what she saw. So you can't tell her any different. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this, the announcement of them splitting, and the psychic who says, "I told you so." All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking this video and sharing your views with me respectfully. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.